I never thought my own daughter would look me in the eye and say, "Dad, we think it's time you moved into a care facility." 4 months after I buried my wife Patricia, Jennifer stood in my living room with her husband Brad, holding glossy brochures for Riverside Senior Living, the home Patricia and I built together for 35 years, the place where we raised Jennifer, where every corner held a memory they wanted me to leave it all behind. I stood there in the kitchen doorway, still wearing the flannel shirt Patricia had given me our last Christmas together, and I couldn't find words. Jennifer wouldn't meet my eyes. Brad did all the talking, his hand on her shoulder like he was holding her up, or holding her back. "Robert," he said, using my first name like we were buddies. "You're 64 years old, living alone in this big house. It's not safe. The property taxes alone are eating up your pension. And let's be honest, we've noticed some concerning signs." "What signs?" My voice came out rougher than I intended. Brad exchanged a look with Jennifer. "You forgot Jennifer's birthday last month. You called her Tricia twice last week. These things happen, but they're warning signs. Early dementia runs in families." That was a lie. I'd never called Jennifer by her mother's name, and I hadn't forgotten her birthday. I'd sent a card 2 weeks early because I was traveling to the coast to scatter some of Patricia's ashes like she'd wanted. But when I opened my mouth to say this, Jennifer finally spoke. "Dad, we're worried about you. Brad's right. This house is too much, and there's equity here that could pay for really good care." There it was. The equity. The money. I looked at my daughter. Really looked at her. When had she become so small? She'd always been my fierce little girl, the one who stood up to bullies in 3rd grade, who fought for the debate team captain position, who'd called me crying with joy when she made partner at her accounting firm. Now she seemed hollowed out, a shell going through motions Brad had choreographed. "I'm not moving," I said quietly. "This is my home." Brad's jaw tightened. "We're not asking permission. Jennifer is your healthcare proxy now that Patricia's gone. If we believe you're not competent to make these decisions, get out of my house." They left, but I knew they'd be back. That night, I couldn't sleep. I walked through the empty house, touching things Patricia had touched. Her reading glasses on the nightstand, the coffee mug she'd used every morning, the one that said "World's Best Teacher" that I'd given her as a joke because I was the teacher, not her. I'd kept it all exactly as she'd left it. Maybe that was unhealthy. Maybe Brad was right, and I was losing it. At 2 a.m, my phone rang. The number came up as Henderson and Associates, Patricia's lawyer. "Mr. Morrison? This is Daniel Henderson. I apologize for the late hour, but I'm calling from my cell because this couldn't wait. Has anyone in your family been asking you to sign financial documents recently?" I sat up straight. "No." "Why?" "Someone submitted a refinancing application for your home this afternoon. The signatures are electronic, but they list you as the primary borrower. Did you authorize this?" My hands went cold. "No, absolutely not. I didn't think so. I've been Patricia's attorney for 15 years, and she made me promise something before she died. She made me promise to watch over certain things." This triggered an alert I set up. "Mr. Morrison, I need you to come to my office tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock sharp. Come alone, and don't tell anyone you're coming. Patricia left something for you. She said you'd know when you needed it." I didn't sleep the rest of that night. Henderson's office was downtown, in one of those old Portland buildings with high ceilings and crown molding. I'd been here before, years ago, when Patricia and I set up our wills. Henderson was waiting in the lobby himself, not his secretary. He was a man in his 60s, silver-haired, with kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. "Robert," he said, shaking my hand firmly, "thank you for coming. Please, follow me." He led me past his office to a small conference room. On the table sat a locked metal box, the kind banks use for safety deposit boxes, and a manila envelope with my name written in Patricia's handwriting. Seeing those careful letters, the way she made her R's, hit me like a physical blow. "Your wife came to see me 8 months before she died," Henderson said gently. "She knew her heart condition was worsening. She knew she didn't have much time, and she was worried, Robert. very worried about what might happen to you after she was gone. He pushed the envelope toward me. She left instructions, very specific instructions. I was to give you this box if any of several conditions were met, if you were being pressured to move, if there were unexplained financial activities, if Jennifer stopped visiting, or if 4 months passed after her death. It's been exactly 4 months, and now the refinancing application. She knew. Robert. Somehow, she knew. My hands shook as I opened the envelope. Inside was a letter in Patricia's handwriting. My dearest Robert, if you're reading this, then my worst fears have come true. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there to protect you myself, but I tried to do the next best thing. The box contains 19 audio recordings. I made them over the last 6 months of my life. I know I should have told you, but I needed you to have plausible deniability. I needed you to be genuinely shocked when you heard them, because that reaction will matter. I discovered something terrible, my love. Something about Brad that Jennifer doesn't know, or doesn't want to see. I couldn't tell her, she wouldn't have believed me. She loves him, and love makes us blind. So instead, I gathered evidence. Listen to the recordings in order. They're numbered. Mr. Henderson has your copy of the key. The bank has the other. You'll need both, plus the password, Autumn 1989. Our wedding date. The best day of my life. I love you. I've always loved you. Fight for yourself, Robert. Fight for our home. Fight for Jennifer to wake up and see the truth. Don't let them win. Forever yours, Patricia. I couldn't breathe. Henderson quietly pushed a box of tissues toward me. She was an extraordinary woman, he said. I've been practicing law for 40 years, and I've never seen anyone prepare for their own death with such strategic precision. She had me set up alerts on your financial accounts, your property records, everything. She told me, Brad's going to make his move once I'm gone, and Robert is vulnerable. He'll use Jennifer to do it. Please, don't let him. He placed an old iPhone on the table. Patricia's iPhone, the one she'd used before she got sick, and I'd gotten her a newer model. The recordings are on here. She made me promise you'd listen to them before you made any decisions. She also made me promise to tell you this. You're not losing your mind. You're not incompetent. You're grieving. There's a difference. And anyone who tries to use your grief against you is someone you should fear. I picked up the phone with trembling hands. The screen showed a voice memo app with 19 recordings, each labeled with just a date. Would you like privacy? Henderson asked. I nodded. He left quietly, closing the door behind him. I pressed play on the first recording. Patricia's voice filled the room, and it took everything in me not to break down completely. She sounded so alive, so present. March 15th. Robert's at his book club tonight, so I have about 2 hours. Brad came by this afternoon. He didn't know I was home. I was upstairs resting. I heard him in the study, going through the file cabinet. Our file cabinet. Robert. I stayed quiet and recorded from the top of the stairs. Listen, the recording quality changed. I could hear papers rustling, a drawer opening, then Brad's voice talking on his phone. Yeah, I found the property deed. Clean title, no liens. Has to be worth at least $800,000 in this market. Once the old lady kicks, I'll work on Robert. Get him, declared incompetent. Put Jennifer in charge. She'll do whatever I say. Then we sell. Clear about $500 after capital gains. Split it with the nursing home kickback guy. We're still looking at $250 clean. My blood ran cold. Another voice on his phone, muffled. What? About the daughter. She's not gonna just let you dump her dad in a home. Brad laughed. It was a sound I'd heard 100 times at family dinners, but I'd never heard the cruelty in it before. Jennifer? Please. I've been managing her for 15 years. She thinks I'm protecting her. She thinks I'm the smart one. By the time we're done, she'll thank me for taking care of her father. The recording ended. Patricia's voice came back, and she was crying. I wanted to run downstairs and throw him out. I wanted to call the police, but I knew it wouldn't be enough. He's smart, Robert. He's been planning this. I need more. I need proof he can't explain away. I sat in that conference room and listened to all 19 recordings. Each one was worse than the last. Recording 4. Brad on the phone with someone at Riverside Senior Living, negotiating a placement fee for referring a wealthy resident. They'd give him 15% of the first year's costs under the table. Recording 7. Brad going through Patricia's medications, talking to himself. Once she's gone, it's just Robert. Old, sad, confused Robert. He won't even fight. Recording 11. Brad and Jennifer in our kitchen. I was supposedly at the grocery store, but Patricia had sent me there deliberately. Jennifer was crying. I don't know, Brad. It feels wrong to even talk about this while Mom's still alive. Brad's voice, so gentle, so manipulative. Baby, we're not talking about doing anything now. We're just preparing. Your dad's going to need help. Don't you want to be ready to give him the best care possible? Recording 15. Brad meeting with a notary public, discussing how to help elderly clients sign documents when they're not quite sure what they're agreeing to. Recording 19. The last one, recorded just 2 weeks before Patricia died. Patricia herself, speaking directly to me. Robert, if you're hearing this, I'm gone. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I got sick. I'm sorry I can't be there to protect you. But mostly, I'm sorry about what you're about to learn about our son-in-law. Brad Wilson is a fraud. Literally. I did some digging, called in favors from my sister who works in banking. He's done this before. His first wife's father convinced her to put the old man in a home, sold the estate, disappeared with the money before she even realized what happened. They divorced 2 years later. It's his pattern. He's coming for you next. He'll use Jennifer. He'll make her believe it's love, it's care, it's what's best for you. And she'll believe him because she loves him and because she's scared of losing you like she lost me. Don't let him win. Take these recordings to the police. Take them to Jennifer. Make her listen. She's stronger than she thinks. She's my daughter. She'll come back to you. I love you, Robert Morrison. I have loved you since I was 22 years old. You are the best man I've ever known. So be that man now. Fight. I don't know how long I sat there after the recordings ended. Henderson knocked softly and came back in. Are you all right? No, I said honestly. But I know what I need to do. Henderson nodded. I took the liberty of making copies. 1 set for you, 1 for the police, and 1 for my files. I've also contacted a colleague who specializes in elder fraud. He's expecting your call. What about the refinancing application? Already flagged as fraudulent. I've frozen all activity on your property. Brad won't be able to do anything without physically getting your signature in front of a bank officer, and even then, I'll be there. I stood up, and my legs were steadier than I expected. I need to talk to Jennifer. Robert, Henderson said carefully, you should know Brad filed a petition this morning for emergency guardianship. He's claiming you're a danger to yourself. The hearing is in 3 days. Of course he did. Patricia had been dead 4 months, and he was already making his move, just like she'd known he would. Then I have 3 days to save my daughter, I said. I tried calling Jennifer 6 times that day. She didn't answer. I drove to their house, a beautiful modern home in the suburbs that I'd helped them with the down payment on 5 years ago. Brad's car was there, but they didn't answer the door. Finally, at 8 p.m., Jennifer texted me, Dad, please stop. You're making this harder. We're doing what's best for you. Just trust us. Trust them. Trust the man who was planning to rob me blind. I texted back, Jennifer Marie Morrison, I am your father, and I need you to listen to me. Meet me tomorrow. Just you. No, Brad. I have something you need to hear. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. Then, I can't. Brad says you're going to try to manipulate me. Your mother left something for you. Before she died, she made me promise to give it to you. That did it. 10 minutes later, Mom's favorite coffee shop. Noon. 30 minutes only. I got there at 11:30. I sat in the corner booth where Patricia and I used to meet for Saturday breakfast before Jennifer was born. Back when we were young and everything seemed possible. The waitress was the same woman who'd served us then, now with gray in her hair like me. Haven't seen you in a while, Mr. Morrison, she said kindly. First time since Patricia passed. I'm so sorry. She was a lovely woman. Coffee? Please. And one more cup. My daughter's coming. Jennifer arrived exactly at noon, and my heart broke a little. She looked exhausted, thin. There were dark circles under her eyes. Hi, Dad. Thank you for coming, sweetheart. She sat down stiffly, checking her phone. Brad knows I'm here. I told him. That's fine. This isn't a secret. I pulled out the iPhone and set it on the table between us. Jennifer frowned. Is that Mom's old phone? Your mother left 19 voice recordings. She made them in the last 6 months of her life. She wanted you to hear them. Dad, I don't think... Please. I reached across the table and took her hand. She almost pulled away, but didn't. Jennifer, I know you think I'm losing my mind. I know Brad's convinced you I need help, but your mother knew something. She tried to protect both of us. Just listen. If after you hear them, you still think I need to go to Riverside, I'll go. I promise. She looked at me for a long moment. Then, she picked up the phone. I watched my daughter's face as she listened to the first recording. Watched confusion become shock, become horror, become tears. She listened to all 19 without stopping, without speaking. Her coffee went cold. The lunch rush came and went around us. When the last recording ended, Patricia's voice saying, I love you, Robert, Morrison, Jennifer set down the phone very carefully, like it might shatter. How long have you known? She whispered. Since yesterday. Yesterday. She laughed, but it was a broken sound. I've been married to him for 15 years. 15 years, Dad. How did I not see it? Your mother didn't blame you. Neither do I. She knew she was dying, and instead of resting, instead of enjoying her last months, she spent them protecting me from my own husband. Jennifer was crying now, really crying. What kind of person am I? What kind of daughter? The kind who loved her mother and trusted her husband. There's no shame in that. He wanted to put you in a home. He wanted to sell your house. He wanted she couldn't finish. I know. I helped him. I went along with it. I stood in your kitchen and told you to move. Oh God, Dad. I'm so sorry. I moved around the booth and held my daughter while she cried. The waitress brought fresh coffee and discreetly left us alone. What do I do? Jennifer finally asked. We go to the police. We stop him. And then you start over. I don't know how. Your mother did, I said gently. Even when she was dying, she found a way to fight. You're her daughter. You're stronger than you know. We went to the police station together, filed a report, gave them the recordings. A detective named Martinez listened to everything, his expression growing grimmer by the minute. This is elder fraud, financial exploitation, conspiracy to commit fraud, and possibly identity theft with that refinancing application, he said. We'll need to investigate, but based on what I'm hearing, we have probable cause for arrest. How long? Jennifer asked. Could be a few days. We'll need to verify the recordings, check his financial records, talk to the notary and the nursing home. But Miss Morrison, I want to be straight with you. We're going to need your cooperation. You're listed on some of these accounts with your husband. I didn't know, she said quickly. I believe you. But we'll need you to make a formal statement, and you should get a lawyer. She looked at me, and I saw my little girl again, scared and needing her father. Henderson can recommend someone, I said. The guardianship hearing was in 2 days. Brad still didn't know we knew. Jennifer went home that night and pretended everything was normal. She told him she'd talked to me, convinced me that moving was for the best, that I'd agreed to go to Riverside. He believed her. Why wouldn't he? He'd been manipulating her for 15 years. The next morning, Brad showed up at my house with Jennifer and a representative from Riverside Senior Living. He had papers for me to sign, documents turning over power of attorney, agreeing to the move. See, Robert? He said, all smiles. Jennifer explained everything. We just want what's best for you. This is a beautiful facility. You'll have friends, activities, professional care. And Jennifer and I will visit all the time. I looked at those papers, looked at Brad's confident smile, looked at Jennifer, who was staring at her hands. I have some questions first, I said, about the financial arrangements. Of course. Brad pulled out more documents. See, we'll sell the house, put the proceeds in a trust for your care. Very standard. Jennifer will be the trustee, since she's your next of kin. And you'll manage the trust? Since you're a financial advisor? Exactly. I'll make sure everything is invested properly, growing for your future needs. Future needs, I repeated. Like the 15% kickback you negotiated with Riverside? Brad's smile froze. The Riverside representative looked confused. I'm sorry. What? Or like the $500,000 you planned to split with your partner after selling my house while I was locked away in your facility? Brad's face went white, then red. Robert, I don't know what you're talking about. Jennifer, your father is clearly confused. I'm not confused. I stood up and pulled out my phone. I have 19 audio recordings of you planning this entire fraud. Made by my wife before she died. She knew exactly what you were planning. That's impossible. Patricia was sick. She was smarter than you gave her credit for. I started playing recording number 4, the one with Brad negotiating the kickback. The Riverside representative's expression shifted from confusion to horror. Mr. Wilson, I have no knowledge of this arrangement. Of course you don't, Brad snapped. This is ridiculous. These are fake. AI generated or something. Jennifer, tell him. They're real, Brad. Jennifer's voice was quiet but steady. She finally looked up, and her eyes were clear. I listened to all of them yesterday. Every word is real. Brad looked between us, and I saw the moment he realized he'd lost. Jenny, baby, you can't believe. Don't call me that. Don't ever call me that again. The door opened. Detective Martinez walked in, with 2 uniformed officers. Bradford Wilson, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit elder fraud, identity theft, and financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult. You have the right to remain silent. I watched them handcuff my son-in-law in my living room. The Riverside representative left hurriedly, muttering about legal departments. Jennifer stood next to me, and when the police led Brad out, he looked at her one last time. You're making a mistake, he said. Without me, you're nothing. Jennifer took my hand. No, she said clearly. Without you, I'm free. The next weeks were a blur. The investigation expanded. Turned out Brad had been running similar schemes for years, targeting elderly clients through his financial advising business. The district attorney found 6 other victims. He was charged with 18 counts of fraud. Jennifer filed for divorce, moved back into her old bedroom in my house. Just temporarily, she said. But some mornings I'd come downstairs and find her making coffee in Patricia's mug, and it felt right. I don't know how to forgive myself, she told me one night. We were sitting on the back porch, the place where Patricia used to garden. She was dying, and she was protecting me, and I didn't even know. She didn't want you to know. She wanted you to be happy. I wasn't happy. I just didn't know I was miserable. Now you do. And you're here. And you're my daughter. That's enough. She leaned her head on my shoulder, like she did when she was little. Tell me about her. About Mom. Not the sick version. The real one. So I did. I told her about the first time I met Patricia, in a bookstore where she was buying a copy of To Kill a Mockingbird, and I'd pretended I'd been looking for the same book just to talk to her. I told her about our wedding, how it had rained, but Patricia had insisted on outdoor photos anyway because she loved the way rain made everything look clean and new. I told her about the day Jennifer was born, how Patricia had held her and said, "She's going to be fierce. Look at those eyes. She's going to change the world." Did she really say that? She really did. And she was right. You're changing it right now. You're fighting back. That's what she wanted for you. 6 months later, Brad Wilson pleaded guilty to avoid trial. He got 12 years. The judge, a woman about Patricia's age, looked him in the eye when she sentenced him and said, "You preyed on grief, you exploited trust, and you tried to rob a family of their dignity. Your only saving grace is that you failed, because one woman had the courage and foresight to protect the people she loved, even from beyond the grave." Jennifer came to every hearing, testified when she had to, stood tall and told the truth about the man she'd married, the man she'd thought she'd known, And then, when it was over, we went to the cemetery, stood in front of Patricia's headstone together. "I brought you something, Mom," Jennifer said quietly. She pulled out a copy of the guilty verdict. "You won. You protected us. You were right about everything." The wind picked up, rustling the trees overhead. Autumn leaves falling. Patricia had always loved autumn. "You know what the strangest part is?" I said. "I'm not even angry at Brad anymore. I'm angry at what he did, at what he tried to do. But mostly, I'm just grateful." "Grateful? Your mother could have just warned me, could have left me a letter telling me to be careful. But she knew that wouldn't be enough. So she gave me something better. She gave me the truth. She gave me the tools to protect myself. She gave me my daughter back." I looked at Jennifer. "That's the real gift. Not the house, not the money. You." Jennifer was crying again, but these were different tears. Healing tears. "I'm going to make her proud," she said. "I don't know how yet, but I will." "You already have, sweetheart. You already have." We started walking back to the car, but Jennifer stopped suddenly. "Dad, what are you going to do with the house?" "I'd been thinking about that. I'm going to live in it, for as long as I can. And when I can't anymore, when I really do need help, I'll decide what happens. On my terms. Like your mother wanted." "What if?" She hesitated. "What if I moved back in? Just until I figure out what's next. We could split the property taxes, help each other out." I smiled. "Your mother would have loved that. She always said that house was built for family. Then it's settled." Jennifer linked her arm through mine. "Fair warning, though. I'm a terrible cook." "I know. I've been eating your casseroles for 38 years. She laughed. Really laughed. And it was the best sound I'd heard since Patricia died. That night, back home, I went into the study and pulled out Patricia's letter one more time. Read the last lines again. "Fight for yourself, Robert. Fight for our home. Fight for Jennifer to wake up and see the truth. Don't let them win." We won, Tricia, I thought. You won. And somewhere, I like to think, she knew. I kept the iPhone in my nightstand drawer. Every now and then, usually late at night when the house was quiet, I'd play recording 19, just to hear her voice, just to hear her say she loved me one more time. "I love you, Robert Morrison. I have loved you since I was 22 years old." And I'd whisper back, "I love you too, Tricia. Forever." Because some loves don't end just because someone dies. Some loves keep fighting, keep protecting, keep winning battles even after the person is gone. That's what Patricia taught me. That's what she taught Jennifer. That's what those 19 recordings really were. Not evidence of a crime, but evidence of a love so strong it could reach beyond death to save the people who mattered most. And in the end, that's the only thing that matters. Not the house, not the money, not even the justice we got. Love wins, even when it seems impossible, even when it hurts. Love wins.